The Juniper Model Y refresh has been revealed, and the exterior design is not just a copy-paste of the Model 3 refresh, but Tesla gave the Model Y its own unique look. Follow along as I compare this newly refreshed model to the previous version and cover every difference I could find, and then discuss my opinion on whether or not I believe it's worth it to upgrade from the previous version of the Model Y. I'm John, and this is Cleanerwatt. Just like with the Highland Model 3, Tesla has chosen to launch this new model starting with their Shanghai, China factory. This means that European and North American markets are still offering the pre-refresh version of the vehicle. Now that Tesla has a global manufacturing footprint, this staggering of them switching over to a new vehicle is something they do to make sure that all of their factories are not down at the same time. For example, if they were to switch over all of the Model Y production lines at all of their factories, this would lead to a gap in production, a large gap in production. But instead, if they just do one factory at a time, that works best. And also they can work out small little kinks at that first factory and make sure that when they roll it out to the next factory, they don't repeat those little mistakes or those little kinks or whatever it be. But this is Tesla's new approach when rolling out a new vehicle. Now, when it comes to how long we're going to have to wait in the US market, when Tesla launched the Highland Model 3 in China, that was September of 2023. Then in January of 2024, Tesla released the new Model 3 in the US market. So the time difference between those two launches was somewhere around 4 months. So if Tesla waits again 4 months before they actually launch the vehicle here in the US market, it may be sometime around May before we actually see the vehicle here in the US. But what exactly did Tesla change with the new version of the Model Y, and is it worth upgrading from the previous version? Well, first of all, let's start with some of the big obvious exterior changes. So the front end of the vehicle has been redesigned with a sleeker, less bulbous bumper, and you don't have kind of that duckbill bump at the top of the bumper anymore. It's more flat, and it includes a new front bumper camera, which is similar to what the Cybertruck got, and that should enhance parking and autopilot features. In addition, the headlights have been updated to include a LED light bar across the front, which is reminiscent of the Cybercab and the Cybertruck designs. This light bar is part of a more chiseled front-end look with small, angular headlights. At the back of the vehicle, there's a unique reflective body panel tail light that gives the appearance of a light bar, and it features the TESLA text instead of the traditional logo. In addition, the rear license plate has been relocated from the center of the tailgate to the lower bumper, which provides a cleaner, more integrated look. Tesla has also launched two new wheel designs, a 19-inch design and a 20-inch design. And it's likely that these wheel design choices are not just for aesthetic reasons, but likely they improve the aerodynamic efficiency of the vehicle as well, because with all of the changes that Tesla made to the exterior of the vehicle, Tesla was able to slightly reduce the drag coefficient from 0.23 to 0.22. With that being said, with all the changes Tesla made to the vehicle, the basic dimensions are pretty much the same, and when you look at the side of the vehicle, the silhouette looks very much like it did before. Tesla also slightly tweaked the side mirrors. If you look at the design there, there's an extra line going across the new design of the side view mirrors. It's just a really small tweak, but that likely is also an aerodynamic choice. Tesla is also offering a new paint color that we haven't seen before called Glacier Blue, and it's unclear whether or not this will be available in all markets, but at least for the vehicles being produced at Tesla's factory in Shanghai, this is a paint option that they are offering. But like with any paint color, to really appreciate it, we need to see it in person before we judge it. Moving from the exterior to the interior of the vehicle, the steering wheel has been updated to a design similar to that of the Model 3 Highland, featuring capacitive buttons. However, based on a right-hand drive version of the Model Y from the Australia Tesla website, it looks like the Model Y does have at least one stalk, unlike the Model 3, which has no stalks. And I'm guessing that this stalk is for the turn signal. And it's not confirmed that all markets will have this, but I believe this is a welcome change that a lot of people are happy about, that very likely Tesla will have a turn signal stalk on the new Model Y. Likely there still will be the option to do the turn signal with capacitive buttons there on the steering wheel as well, But at least for that Australian market, and that's really where the picture is clear there is what looks like a turn signal stalk on the vehicle. The drive selection stalk is likely still gone, and that will be controlled through either the touchscreen or some kind of automatic feature like the Model S and X have. But it looks like, once again, there is at least one turn signal stalk on this new Model Y. Other welcome changes that Tesla made that are similar to the Model 3 update include front ventilated seats, new ambient lighting that runs along the dashboard and the door panels. The dashboard and door panels, also like the Model 3, use a new textile material, and they don't have the same wood trim as before. Tesla also added the 8-inch screen in the rear of the vehicle for rear passengers, allowing them to control their entertainment and climate settings. The center console area has been slightly redesigned, and it also looks like Tesla has upgraded the resolution of the 15.4-inch center display. And in addition, the vehicle should also now include 360-degree acoustic glass, which should significantly reduce cabin noise. In addition, according to this post on X by Tesla Newswire, it looks like the rear seats have been slightly improved as well, with the cushions being extended by 0.6 inches, the headrests being widened by 0.7 inches. In addition, the rear seats are now electrically powered, meaning you can both lower and raise them with a button, whereas with the previous model, you had to manually lift the seats back up after lowering them. Another exciting feature is that the front trunk is now powered as well, and you can open and close it automatically using the Tesla mobile app, the key fob, or through the center console touchscreen. Tesla has also advertised that they've improved the network connectivity, and this should allow the phone key to have longer range, in-car calls should be clearer, and you should be able to have faster Wi-Fi connections. Tesla has apparently also improved the suspension and ride of the vehicle as well. In addition, when it comes to performance, specifically right now, we have the official 0 to 100 kilometers per hour performance numbers, which equates to roughly 0 to 62 miles per hour. So these times are going to be slightly longer than the 0 to 60 mile per hour times. But nonetheless, the 0 to 100 kilometer per hour time for the rear-wheel drive version dropped to 5.9 seconds, an improvement from the previous 6.9 seconds. And for the long-range all-wheel drive version, the 0 to 100 kilometer per hour time improved from 5 seconds to 4.3 seconds, which is even a tenth of a second faster than the acceleration boost upgrade that could previously be purchased to bring the 0 to 100 time down to around 4.4 seconds. It is unclear if the non-launch edition will have slower acceleration and require an acceleration boost for the 4.3 second time, or if it's the new standard. With the improved aerodynamics and maybe some other small tweaks, Tesla was also able to improve the range of the vehicle. And we don't have the EPA figures just yet, but according to the CLTC cycle, which is of course way more generous than the EPA cycle that we use here in the USA, the rear-wheel drive version was able to see a range increase of just a little bit over 7%, going from 554 kilometers to 593 kilometers with the 19-inch wheels. And the long-range all-wheel drive version was able to see a range increase of just a little bit over 4.5%, going from a range of 688 kilometers for the previous version to 719 kilometers with the 19-inch wheels for the new version. So while I don't know what the EPA range figures are here in the US market, it does look like it will increase slightly from the previous model once we get those figures here in the USA. I'm definitely excited about that, and I'm sure a lot of people are. We also don't know the price yet that Tesla is going to be offering this vehicle in the US market. However, there was a price increase for the new Model Y Juniper in China, with the entry-level Model Y rear-wheel drive launch edition being priced at an equivalency of around $1,855 more than the previous version, which equates to an increase of a little bit over 5%. The long-range all-wheel drive version of the vehicle is a little bit over 4% higher than the previous version, once again for the launch edition of the vehicle. It's very likely that Tesla is charging a little bit more for the launch edition of the vehicle. So very likely when Tesla actually starts producing the regular non-launch edition versions of the vehicle, the pricing will be about the same as before. And maybe there's a chance of it being slightly less, but very likely it'll be about the same as before. Now you'll probably notice that I haven't mentioned a performance version of the Model Y, and that's because Tesla hasn't released it yet. This is something that Tesla did with the Model 3. They brought out the refreshed Model 3, and then some months later, they brought out the performance version. And it looks like this is what Tesla is going to do with the Model Y as well. So a performance version will follow, but it's going to be delayed a little bit while they get the regular versions out first. Okay, with that being said, now I want to share my opinion. When it comes to my opinion of the exterior design, overall, I'm really happy with what Tesla did to the front of the vehicle. I like the light bar design. I think it looks very classy, and I think it'll especially look great in person. When it comes to the rear of the vehicle, when the light is not illuminated, I think it looks quite amazing. When it's illuminated, I think it'll look good in person, but I'm really unsure about that. I really need to see it in person before I fully judge the appearance of the rear of the vehicle. With that being said, I would love to know what you think about the exterior appearance, so make sure that you leave that in the comment section below. When it comes to the interior of the vehicle, I believe that Tesla did a great job with that, and all of the new improved features are a welcome change, and the design looks great. When it comes to the answer of the question on whether or not I believe this new Model Y is worth an upgrade if you own a previous model, or if you've been waiting to buy a Model Y for this new refresh, is this new refresh version worth buying, or should you go with another vehicle or buy the previous version of the Model Y? I believe it truly is worth it, especially if it's offered somewhere around the same price point as before, because I believe there are enough features added to this vehicle to really make it worth the upgrade. With that being said, please let me know what you think about this vehicle. Are you excited about the new upgrade? Are you disappointed? And what's your opinion on the exterior design choices that Tesla made? Well, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I would like to say thank you to all of those of you who support me through Patreon. Your support makes a big difference and does help make these videos possible. If you'd like to find out more about how you can support my work through Patreon, I will put a link in the video description. Thank you so much.